The New England Patriots came to Baltimore's Memorial Stadium in an angry mood. They were angry with themselves for the early defeats that jeopardized their season. They were mad at Ted Marchibroda's Colts for losing to the Lions and thus offering them little hope for the playoffs. At game time, Chuck Fairbanks' team realized that with Miami's victory over the Bills, there would be no second season. So the only incentive in playing this game hard and tough would lie in an emotion called revenge. If they could defeat Baltimore for the second time this year, they would topple Baltimore from the playoffs. Their motive simply being, if we can't go, then they won't either. The Colts, on the other hand, knew that victory today meant a third straight AFC Eastern Championship and redemption from 3 straight weeks of shoddy play that almost capsized their balmy cruise to the playoffs. With everyone thusly motivated, the atmosphere was as intense as a title game as New England met Baltimore in the game of the week. When the two teams met on October 23rd, New England beat Baltimore 17-3, held them to 86 yards in offense, and knocked them from the unbeaten rights. Normally, the Patriots are a conservative team, but wanting victory with a vengeance, New England opened up their attack from the opening whistle. Still, their strength resides in running back Sam Cunningham and number 44 Don Calhoun, and the blocking of their 265-pound pulling guard John Hanna, number 73. The Colts, even with the irrepressible Burt Jones, have been just as basic on offense this season. They have relied primarily on the short pass and the varied skills of their premier running back, Lydell Mitchell, number 26, the AFC's leading receiver and third-ranked rusher. Between Mitchell and teammate Don McCauley, number 23, Baltimore has produced 111 receptions and over 1,000 yards from their setbacks. The first concerted drive of the game was launched late in the first quarter by the New England Patriots. Number 81, All-Pro tight end Russ Francis, was playing with bruised ribs, but his presence has been such a vital factor in the success of New England's attack this season that quarterback Steve Grogan often forces passes to him in desperate situations. The Patriots cross midfield on a Grogan connection to stellar rookie Stanley Morgan, number 86. And behind rocked them back on their heels blocking and the no-nonsense running of Calhoun, New England plowed toward a certain score. Wary of Grogan's running ability, Colt cornerbacks like number 43 Norm Thompson hugged tight to the line of scrimmage. The game's first score came on a rollout pass by Grogan to a wide-open Russ Francis. The touchdown gave New England a 7-0 lead, and another look at the score reveals that Francis, number 81, simply lost his imposing 6'6", 240-pound body in a traffic jam, then hid in the end zone. The Colts offense, so versatile, well-conceived, and potentially explosive, has been dreadfully flat in recent weeks, and they needed a spark to turn the corner. Facing them was the number 1 ranked defense in the AFC, a unit that leads the NFL in quarterback sacks. With New England wary of Jones' propensity for passing short to his setbacks, the deep middle ranges of their zone opened up nicely for tight end Raymond Chester, number 87.
Read the fake on that blitz. They weren't coming. They were faking the blitz. just steps back, has time to throw it, puts it right over the head of a couple of defenders into the hands of Raymond Chester, who'd gotten downfield and found himself a little room.
Both quarterbacks, Grogan and Jones.
Following in the wake of destroyer-size guard Ken Huff, number 62, Lydell Mitchell ran Baltimore within sight of a score. The Colts' drive faltered when Patriot linebacker Steve Nelson, number 57, saw no one to cover in his area of responsibility. This freed him to penetrate and pulverize Burt Jones. With a 3rd and 16 from the Patriot 25, Lydell Mitchell pulled his disappearing act and almost pulled out a first down. Mitchell's effort fell 2 yards short, and Baltimore settled for a field goal that made the score 7-3.
Grogan and Jones. Play that we'll see here on NBC. Linhart will try from 28 yards out, and he's got it. Linhart connects, and with 5:29 remaining in the first half, the score here in Baltimore, New England 7, the Colts 3.
Late in the first half, New England marched downfield to the beat of Sam Cunningham, number 39. Cunningham gained 41 yards on the drop.
Grogan has time to throw here, even though he's got McLeod coming from the outside. And boy, he rifles that ball. I believe it looked like he bumped him, right? Maybe bumped his leg or his hip. Just as
Seconds remaining, 38 seconds left. It's Calhoun to the goal line. Is he in? No, he is not in. The linesman mark it just shy of the goal line.
Successfully.
Calhoun and Cunningham behind him. 3 tight ends. Grogan sneaks it ahead for the touchdown. Grogan right up the middle, and New England leads 13-3. Now, when you're 6'4" and 205, you can lean forward for that distance. Here it is from close range.
You'll get a chance to see Grogan. He just takes a quick step forward and then leaps right over the top. Baltimore doing a great job of holding a penetration in there, but unable to stop Grogan from getting the ball over the line. He's coming right at you in this shot. Watch him leap. Goes right over the top of the bodies, and he caught a forearm right in the chops.
The try for point by John Smith. Patrick to hold. It's good. And the New England Patriots, showing their mettle, their fiber, have taken a 14-3 lead over the Baltimore Colts with a half-minute remaining in the first half.
With 24 seconds remaining in the half, Burt Jones suddenly found his touch. On 2 Hummers to Freddie Scott, number 86, Jones moved Baltimore swiftly across the 50. Although time ran out on the Colts, the stunning suddenness with which Jones whistled Baltimore downfield boded well for them in the final 30 minutes. They were a drowning team, and it appeared Burt Jones held the lifeline to a championship.
Just haven't been as they should have been for the Baltimore Colts, and you sense a little bit of desperation down there at the end of a 3-game losing streak, and they know that all the marbles are on the table for this one, but they can't seem to get it going.
Rookie Raymond Claiborne, number 26, waiting for Linhart to kick it off. And the second half is underway here in Baltimore. Claiborne drifting back with a win. He's at the 5. 15. 30, 40, he may go all the way. One man to beat, and he's not going to catch him. Raymond Claiborne, 102 yards for a touchdown. Oh, my. Tony Linhart, the kicker, must have said something to one of the New England England Patriots, Rod Schote, and Schote just wrestled him down. Claiborne using his tremendous speed to sprint over 100 yards for a touchdown. Meanwhile, a drama back at midfield as the Patriots have to rip their own teammate to the turf.
But what a tremendous play by Clayton. I'll tell you, he is just one exciting kick return specialist. Tremendous speed, a great ability to follow his blocks. We had a lot of extra people out on the field for a little while there. I think it was Rod Schote walking off the field after throwing a block on Linhart. Linhart said something to him. Schote came back. A couple other people went out to separate the action. But, of course, the big action was that 102-yard return, the third scoring return of the year for Claiborne. Here's a good shot of it. He gets away from one tackle, a second tackle, gets up a couple of good blocks. Now watch him cut back and use his great speed. That's Hasselbeck trying to help him there. Doug Bedoin throwing a block there, and no chance. He's going to walk across that goal line.
The only man who could have caught him was Sanders Shiver, and he did not have the speed. Claiborne's third kickoff return for a touchdown this year. Smith's try for a point, and New England opens the second half with an electrifying touchdown return, and with timeout in Baltimore, the New England Patriots now have a 21-3 lead. Oh my.
Just after Marcia Broda had told him, hey, look, we're 14-3, but we're still in this ball game. All we got to do is go out and shut them down.
Cheer. C. O. L. T. S. Colts. There seemed to be no doubt that on this dark night in Baltimore, the Patriots were number one. And as Mel Lunsford vividly pointed out, if there were any skeptics, all you had to do was look at the scoreboard. Now seemed a good time for Baltimore to quit and toss in their horseshoes for this lost season. Burt Jones, however, had other ideas, and by sheer force of his will and skill, the Colts resolutely fought back. The Colts' first touchdown resulted from a Jones fastball to Glenn Doughty, number 35, on a square.
By Jones, fired it in low. Doughty does a great job of sensing where that end zone is, packing the mail in. Burt reads it all the way, gets Doughty in the open, hits him quickly, and Doughty does all the rest, gets it in there for 6.
Try for a point by Linhart is good. Timeout. We've played only 2.5 minutes of this third quarter. We've seen 2 touchdowns. And New England leads 21-10.
Doughty's quick touchdown seemed to revive the Colts. The Patriots would soon find the Colts almost impenetrable. After adding a field goal to lead 24-10 in the third quarter, New England got 1 first down for the remainder of the game and gained a paltry 29 yards against the sack pack. Number 63, Mike Barnes, is publicly probably the least known of the pack, but the 6'6", 260-pounder from the University of Miami is quietly making his mark, and this year was selected to play in the Pro Bowl. Barnes, Fred Cook, John Dutton, number 78, and number 76, Joe Ehrman, form one of the youngest and yet most experienced rush lines in the NFL. Barnes and Ehrman are fifth-year players, while Cook and Dutton are in their 4th season. And with the exception of Barnes, all have been starters since they put on Baltimore suits. With the Patriots completely stifled and Baltimore trailing 24-10 with 18 minutes left, the burden shifted to Burt Jones and the Colt offense. They simply had to wake up or forget the playoffs.
A 30-yard field goal. It is good. Smith connects from 30 yards away, and New England adds to its lead. Timeout, 4:19 left in the third quarter. Patriots now lead by 2 touchdowns.
Dickie Kahn, number 22. Jones just throws it as far as he can. And Chester reaches out, picks it off, and packs the mail into the end zone. Boy, when we said they got to do something now, we didn't anticipate that Bert Jones would react as quickly as he did.
Now the try for a point, which is critical as well. The Colts can pull within 7 if Tony Linhart connects. And Linhart has missed only 2 all year. Bill Troop, number 12, to hold. Coming right into your living room. It is blocked. It is blocked by Dickie Kahn, number 22. The very man that left his position on the safety blitz comes back and blocks the extra point try, and that's just taking the wind right out of Baltimore's balloon.
Watch Dickie Kahn coming from the outside. 22. See him on the left of your screen. Ball is kicked. I don't believe it was Dickie Kahn. Looked like they kicked it low.
It may have been Tim Fox, number 48, who got in there. Here's the touchdown again.
Let's look at this. What a beautiful bomb play this is. Jones knows that he's going to get knocked here. He takes as much time as he can and then fires a perfect bullet right into the outstretched hands of Raymond Chester. And Chester shows us some great speed as he gets away from Prentice. It's finally Mike Haynes who comes over, number 40, gets a hold of him, but he gets across the goal line.
But in essence, an empty touchdown for the Colts, who remain 8 points behind because of the missed extra point. Next. Not close. Not close. So New England takes over, and the emotions of the Baltimore fans turn 180 degrees.
The ball back. They've got a 3-man rush. Everyone else is deep. He sees an opening. He said, hey, you can't do that. Away he goes, and he can run the ball. He's a fine athlete. Finally stacked up by Tim Fox, but not until he's got... Scott in the end zone.
Linhart's kick is good, and with 11 minutes, 27 seconds left, the score, New England 24, Baltimore 23.
But if they were going to complete their comeback, it was not going to be easy. With just under 9 minutes to go, Mike Patrick dropped a punt on the 1-yard line, and Baltimore had 99 yards of coming back to do. Recent criticism of the Colts has been their change from the howitzer to the pop gun passes of Jones to his running backs. Jones is at his best when he is executing a daring game plan.
That is the longest kick ever by Mike Patrick. We welcome the fans who have watched San Diego and Pittsburgh. We're at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. There's your score with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left. Baltimore trailing by 1 at its 1-yard line. Lydell Mitchell, no room, gets maybe to the 2-3-yard line. Steve Nelson, who's played a tremendous game at linebacker for the Patriots today, and Tim Fox make the tackle. Reviewing the scoring. New England jumped to a 7-0 lead on a Grogan to Francis pass of 5 yards. Linhart kicked the Baltimore field goal. Then Grogan sneaks it in from 1 yard out to make it 14-3 at halftime. Raymond Claiborne ran the kickoff back 101 yards to start the second half, and New England led 21-3. But Baltimore has been rallying, and there's Jones going long for Dowdy. He got it! Out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Glenn Dowdy, a long bomb from Jones.
What a gutsy call by Bert Jones. He fakes, gives a pump fake, gives Dowdy time to get free, and then he fires a perfect strike. Dowdy does a great job of going up to get that ball. Beat Bobby Howard down the sideline. Beautiful play. Gutsy call. Good field position.
Merlin. Interference has been called on Raymond Claiborne. It would not have been a first down anyway had he caught the ball. And the official on the goal line threw the penalty flag. The play 32 yards upfield, holding first down Baltimore.
And the rookie better be careful what he says to those officials. They'll tack another one on that. It looked from here like he just got there a little too soon. Let's let the officials say.
Defensive holding before the pass was thrown.
Boy, that's a big call against the rookie Claiborne, who'd been sent into the game specifically to keep an eye on the receiver. There it is, right there. You see him put his hands on him before the ball arrived. You cannot do that. That's against the rules.
And when you have momentum, it goes your way, and Baltimore on that third down pass gets a first down. Dowdy, incomplete, covered by Mike Haynes, the brilliant quarterback from Arizona State as a rookie last year, had 8 interceptions. This year has 5 to lead New England.
Haynes was the Rookie of the Year last year in the NFL and certainly has been one of the most outstanding and consistent cornerbacks in football the last 2 years.
Into the huddle goes Bert Jones, trailing his Colts by 1. We're under the 6-minute mark. Jones, whose daddy Dub was an outstanding running back receiver for the Cleveland Browns, once caught 6 touchdown passes against the Bears. Jones, 2nd and 10. Good protection. Oh, what a tackle made by
That's Choate, I believe, 56.
Yes, sir. Rod Choate of Oklahoma making a dive, and Choate, one of the fastest linebackers in the league, and he saw the opening, and as Jones headed upfield, he had about 15 yards, but Choate was able to cut him off.
Jones had room to run. Watch it now. Jones sees he can't get it off, comes back up the middle. He is going to shorten the loss or pick up a gain, and Choate does a great job of cutting off, taking his feet out from underneath him. Jones might have had a first down on that play had he been able to break the line.
Instead, he lost a yard. It's 3rd and 11. Double wing formation. Only McCauley in the backfield, and now he's in the pattern. Mitchell open. First down, 13-yard line. Lydell Mitchell. So on 3rd and 11, Jones to the leading receiver in the NFL, Lydell Mitchell.
It's amazing, Dick. The New England Patriots came into this game knowing that they had to take Mitchell away from Jones as a pass receiver. And he has caught one clutch pass right after another today. Has done an excellent job of mixing his receivers. Boy, he got it right into his hands. First down, big play.
Mitchell goes out, McCauley in with Leaks. That's McCauley, number 23, hit by Hamilton and dragged down by Nelson at the 11-yard line. The clock is running. 4.5 minutes remaining. Baltimore with the ball, but trailing New England 24-23. At the 11, it'll be 2nd down and 8.
They'd love to have those 7 points, Dick. They can get away with the 3, but they'd like to have the 7.
Fans have been on their feet almost this entire quarter, chanting COLTS for their beloved Baltimore Colts. Jones, incomplete at the goal line. The coverage from Bob Howard on the intended receiver, Glenn Dowdy.
Dowdy's saying he was interfered with down there. Looked like he might have been bumped, but there is no flag. Going to be third and about 8 yards. Oh, what a great job Jones has done of bringing his team back in this second half, putting those points on the board, getting them within their shot here of going ahead in this ball game.
Jones now as I believe his top two running back receivers, Mitchell, who caught 66 coming in, and McCauley, 49 receptions. They are split. Now Mitchell moves up on a wing left. Watch Mitchell winged on the left side. Third down, 8 play. Dowdy, incomplete. And a flag, interference against the New England Patriots, and they can't believe their luck at this point. Bob Howard called for interference, and that's the second time on this drive that Baltimore, on a third down incomplete pass, has been awarded a first down on penalty.
Interference, first down.
Let's see if we can see it here. There's the ball in the air. Sure enough, there is a hand on him before the ball arrives. The rule says the defender may not touch or interfere with the receiver until the ball has been touched or at least comes even with the receiver.
3 minutes, 53 seconds left. First and goal, Baltimore at the 6-yard line. The Colts trail by 1. Dowdy slotted right. Blown play. Jones fumbles, and it's picked up by New England. New England has the ball, and now let's see what they call. Sam Hunt has the ball. Have they whistled that dead? I can't believe it if they've whistled it dead. The ball was clearly fumbled on the hit, and they called it a dead ball. I can't believe it. Oh, what a break for Baltimore.
You got to look at it yourself. It's a broken play. Bert Jones turns around, no one to hand to, steps back inside, and there's the ball loose. They have apparently said that he was down. Wow.
Oh, Baltimore receiving about every break a team could get. And
look at it again here.
How would you like Don Shula to call this one for?
That's Steve Zabel. Steve Zabel stripping the ball out.
What a break for the Baltimore Colts. Second and goal. They maintain possession. Mitchell up the middle, down at the 3-yard line. Pete Barnes made the tackle. It'll be third and goal. So Baltimore, apparently having coughed up the ball, somehow gets a very quick whistle and has a chance to beat New England after all. With 3 minutes remaining in the game. Third and goal at the 3. Chuck Fairbanks, who has not been a very lucky man anyway. Remember the playoffs last year against Oakland. His Patriots got so few breaks. Third and goal. McCauley. Touchdown! McCauley scores! Baltimore leads for the first time today, 29-24.
Second guessing of the officials after a couple of calls on this drive, but you've got to give Baltimore credit, Dick. They took the ball in, they put it in the end zone.
And the game isn't over. 2 minutes and 44 seconds remain for New England to come back. Linhart out of Troop's hole is good. And we have another fight as tempers again very hot. One of the principals,
Greg Boyd.
65, Greg Boyd.
And it looked like somebody else might have popped him to start out with, but I think the penalty is going to be on Greg Boyd.
Well, that would be consistent. New England has had a string of penalties and bad breaks for them on this last drive, and now they may have lost their composure, and if they have created a 15-yard penalty, they're going to get the ball only after Baltimore kicks off from midfield. We'll see. Jones with 385 yards against the Jets in 74 is very close to his personal high. He's around the 350 mark right now in this game. When a referee comes to the sidelines, it often means a player has been ejected, and we'll attempt to untangle that.
Well, these officials have sure had their hands full. In a game like this, it's been as emotional as this one. A lot of people losing their cool a little bit on the field. We're lucky no one has been hurt.
Timeout, 2:44 left in the game. Baltimore 30, New England 24. Tony Linhart to kick it off to New England with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left. Ken Huff has been ejected, the guard for Baltimore, and Boyd, the defensive end of New England, also ejected. We'll show you the touchdown again after the kickoff, and also a play they're going to be talking about all weekend long. Did Burt Jones fumble or not? Into the wedge, taken by one of the linemen, and back to the 45-yard line goes the Patriots' number 66, Bob McKay, an offensive tackle. Now the touchdown.
Here's the touchdown. They're coming off their right side. That's Huff pulling out in front, Pratt pulling out in front, both guards. 75 is Coots driving people onto the inside, and McCauley just smells that goal line, dives in for the 6 points. Now, take a close look for yourself. Jones with a broken play, no one to hand off to. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage. Zabel from the outside knocks the ball loose. The ball is blown dead.
2:38 remaining, an injured player, so we'll take a break with the score. Baltimore 30, New England 24. The injured player being helped off is the man who returned the kickoff, Bob McKay, the tackle from the University of Texas. Came to New England from the Cleveland Browns in a trade for Ron Bolton last year. New England has the ball in good field position at the 45-yard line of the Patriots with 2.5 minutes left. More than adequate time. It's not a situation where Grogan has to hurry. He has all his timeouts. But he's going to throw. Over the middle, incomplete. Calhoun at midfield, covered by Simonini. Steve Grogan at the controls for the New England Patriots.
Ed Simonini did a fine job coming up to cover Calhoun on that particular play and jumped him down.
Getting information on the playoff picture. If Baltimore wins next Saturday, that game between Baltimore and Oakland would be at 12:30 if they win. But there's 2 minutes and 34 seconds left. 2nd and 10 over the middle. Cunningham hit immediately at the 50. He gains 5. Tom McLeod made the tackle. We welcome fans who have watched Denver and Dallas. The score here in Baltimore, the Colts have just scored to take the lead for the first time in the game, 30-24. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Baltimore was behind 21-3 in the third quarter. That's Cunningham, and he has a first down. As we approach the 2-minute warning, it's going to be given right now. 2 minutes left. New England a first down at the Baltimore 41. As we pause for this word, we'll be right back. It's Baltimore and New England playing here at Memorial Stadium, and it'll be Tchaikovsky coming up in that marvelous Nutcracker Ballet. Here on NBC, we welcome fans from New York City. We have a classic game here in Baltimore, a team that has to win to get in the playoffs, a team that has nothing going for it except its pride, New England. And New England has led 21-3 early in the third quarter. Baltimore, rallied by Burt Jones, now leads for the first time 30-24. 2 minutes left. New England first down at the 41 of Baltimore. Grogan, the throw. He's got, no, it's going to be intercepted. Thompson at the 30. Thompson at the 42-yard line. Norm Thompson, his second interception of this second half.
Let's look at it again. Grogan gets the ball off under pressure over the hands of the receiver Stingley. right into the hands of Norm Thompson. His second interception of the day. And wow, what a big interception that is. Here's another shot. Again, you can see the pressure coming in on Grogan. 63, Mike Barnes. Looked like he was hit just as he delivered that ball. And there's number 43. Boy, these fans are going crazy.
Thompson's other interception, not unlike this one, on a pass overthrown. Baltimore will try to run out the clock. New England has its timeouts remaining. 1:50 left. Mitchell. And the Patriots there to greet him. Raymond Sugarmare Hamilton, the 250-pound nose guard, along with Mel Lunsford. 1:44 left. New England spends one of its timeouts. In case you weren't with us, a controversial play on Baltimore's drive to the go-ahead touchdown. With a score 24-23, Baltimore's Burt Jones.
Couple of weeks, fumbling twice on the 1-yard line, able to jump over the top of those gathered bodies in there, and then showing some excellent speed until he's run down by Tim Fox from behind. What a play. Here it is again for you. Jones faking to the right side, hands off back inside, and watch Leach jump over the top. Beautiful hole in there, opened up by that Baltimore offensive line.
Number 57, Ken Mendenhall, the center from Oklahoma, through the big block. We welcome fans that have watched the Browns Seahawks game at the Kingdome in Seattle. Pandemonium here in Baltimore. They have the Saturday. Pittsburgh plays at Denver Saturday. The Colts, after this snap from center, have qualified in the final 8. Score, Baltimore 30, New England 24, in an incredibly exciting game as Burt Jones, number 7, it is well he should have the football. He threw 3 touchdown passes in a great comeback as the Colts overcame a 21-3 deficit. They overcame a missed extra point in their rally and beat a game valiant New England team 30-24.
I was running through the control rooms today. There were some tense moments during the game.
Oh, there was some very tense moments in the early part of the game. We looked like we've looked for the last 3 weeks. I think a lot of firm Colt believers wrote us off, but when we had to, we came up a situation of trailing 21-3 and looking pretty bleak. We suddenly got pretty hot and did the things that we know best how to do and that we've seen for so many times in the past in this great football city. Now, we're going to be very loose and informal here tonight. After the game, I talked to Burt Jones, Pat and Stan White family, Don McCauley, then John Dutton, Norm Thompson, the great interceptor today, Freddie Scott, and then Ted Marchibroda introduces me to his whole family. Just kind of a happy thing, so let's watch and enjoy. Sound like you've been yelling.
No, I don't. I get hoarse a little bit after a ball game. Of course, everybody says I holler at referees, and I don't think I hollered once today.
That brings us to a good point, though, I think, and that is a bit of a rift, let's admit it, to whatever degree, between this team and the city, the fans. Can that all be buried now?
I hope so. Of course, I don't think there was any rift from the ball club towards the city. I think what it was is, you know, they were calling it the way it was. We were losing. We weren't playing good football, and, you know, they just, not they, but it was just a bad situation. I hope that they're proud of us now, and I hope that we can continue in the playoffs, and hope we get to the Super Bowl.
Patty White, I have to say, I sat in these stands and I watched this dude today contain Sam the Bam, and when that happened and when everything else was clicking on this club, we got right back to being Super Bowl stuff.
I never thought we were going to lose, even when that guy ran it back on a punt return for 100 yards. My mother-in-law, kickoff return. My mother-in-law was just going crazy, and this whole week, Stan's just been at real peace. He hasn't been as hyper, and I just was at peace, and I never thought we were going to lose. I just thought our team was going to click and put it together.
You against Cunningham, a thing of beauty.
I don't know how beautiful. It sure hurts. I know that. But sometimes you just have to hit them and stop them, and whatever it takes to win, we just have to do it. And now the only thing on our minds is Oakland, so we'll be ready for them next week.
When it's third and tough, it's always Don McCauley. So it was appropriate, I think, in this, the championship game of the regular season, you catch the winner.
It felt good, that's for sure, Tom. It's the play we ran with. It's called a 27 boss, and I think it's one of our strongest plays. We've been going with it all year, and this is the first time I think we've used it down in the goal line situation. And thank God that things worked just the way it was drawn up, and we're just all so happy now. And we've put up with a lot the last 3 weeks, and it's just we have new life now, and I think this is just what we need going into next Saturday's game with Oakland.
This Colt defense just continues to amaze folks too.
Well, they drove on us a couple times there, and kind of got on us, and we don't like people driving on us like that, and I think we're good enough to to stop a lot of people. And New England's got a good offense, but we rose up on them in the second half and got it done.
The madder they made you, the more you rose.
You bet. It's just a matter of starting everybody to do everything.
Team,
right.
Too.
Yes, I think we were the better team today. We won. They didn't have anything to fight for. They're a good ball club. It's you can't ever say not enough about them. I think they got a great offensive line and everything. Things just started falling our way, and they just, that's what we needed.
How were you able to pick on Grogan so you made it look so easily?
Well, I think he was trying to pick on me, and as it turned out, he kind of overshot Stangley on both patterns, which I think were, about the same patterns. And I was just so happen close enough to the ball and the receiver to come up with it.
You bring up a point of the whole atmosphere of this game, and that is not only were we mad about losing 3 in a row, but this team, the way they played against us in the early on, they made us mad. And once we got mad, got that hair on the back raised with our backs to the wall, we, in fact, looked like an unbeatable football team.
Well, definitely, our back was against the wall before we even, hit the field today. And they were kind of upset because we lost and kind of knocked them out of the playoffs. But it was no way intended for us to lose last week. And we knew we had to win this game regardless of what happened last week. And this was it. Either you stay around for a week or you pack up your bags and go back to California, which I would have to do. So I'd rather have Oakland come here than me going to Oakland.
I don't think there's any better way to get yourselves prepared for Oakland and the rest of the playoffs, and who knows, maybe all the way New Orleans.
Oh, particularly in the sense that we're coming off some, bad weeks in the sense that we lost a few, so we needed some momentum. And, our backs were against the walls. This was our Super Bowl, so to speak. And so it was more or less like, a playoff game to us. And we've been there before. We know what it's like to lose in a playoff game. So we definitely want that. So
this kind of game has a tendency to mend any wounds that exist.
That's the name of the game. The character of the club to hang in there despite all the obstacles and deal with Colt football.
Well, Tom, these are my daughters. This is my daughter, Jody. She just came in from California. And this is my daughter, Lonnie, who's going to home in school. My son, Teddy's in the back at the University of Virginia. And this is my wife, Ann, on the side.
Come on in here.
Class. Here's my favorite, right here.
Well, there are some in this town who would disagree with you, dear. I want to talk to your husband first. I see he has a horseshoe in his hand. Do you know about that horseshoe, Ann?
He's going to have to tell me about that horseshoe.
Well, step in here, Ted, and let's tell everybody about that.
Well, Ted, before the ball game, Tom, Ben Higgs wrote me a letter, and he said, Coach, it's been a great year for him in publishing the Colt paper, and he said that this horseshoe belonged to Secretariat, and he wished that I would have it before the ball game, and I carried it with me right up until game time, and I certainly want to thank Ben.
Did that have anything to do with what we did today?
Well, I think it came through in the second half. Okay, thank you, Tom.
Oh, the difference a week makes.